Hello and welcome to the CWT Business YouTube channel. So for today's video, I want to talk about something that I recently found out that I think is actually insanely interesting. And that is how much of Warren Buffett's money is in Apple. So when people think Warren Buffett, they think big time investor. And when you think about stuff like that, you imagine a very diverse portfolio, which, to be fair, Warren Buffett's portfolio is insanely diverse. He's invested in so many different companies, and in my opinion is the greatest investor in the entire world. But I was surprised to find out how much of his money is actually in one place. I looked on various different websites, and the number I kept finding was that 35% of his money is in Apple. I don't know if that's the exact number, but that is the number that I've gotten from multiple different sites, so I would assume it's at least around 35%. And I believe that is worth, I think, something like $72 billion, which is an insane amount of money for one, and especially an insane amount of money just for one company. Now, Apple is, of course, an amazing stock. I actually have a few Apple shares myself, although Warren Buffett has a little bit more than I do. But no, I was actually really surprised to find out how much of his money is really in Apple. And I did a little bit more research on it. And Warren Buffett is actually a huge fan of Apple. I feel like when people think Warren Buffett in interviews, he always talks about McDonald's, he talks about Coca-Cola, and those are two companies he's very, very interested in and very, very, very dedicated with. But when he's talking about Apple, and I'm paraphrasing here, of course, but he basically said he doesn't even think of Apple as an investment. He thinks about it more as a third business, and that loves the company and loves being an investor in Apple. And honestly, when you look at how much money he's made just because of investing in Apple, it makes a lot of sense. But it really surprised me that 35% of his money was in Apple. And I don't really know why it surprised me. Apple is one of the fastest growing companies I've seen. They're actually doing a stock split soon, which is going to be a 4-to-1 stock split. So if you own one share of Apple, you own 4 now because they're splitting it up. And they've done this before, and I was reading about this, and the Apple price per share is almost as much as it was last time when they did a stock split. If you watch my not recent video, one before that, I was talking about Apple's almost at a $2 trillion valuation when they literally hit $1 trillion valuation just a few years ago. The rate Apple's growing at and the rate Apple's returning, especially since their stock price is probably about to go up as soon as they do this 4-to-1 split on their shares, you can see why investing in Apple is such a good decision. There's a lot of stocks I'm looking at. Obviously, Amazon's growing insanely fast, Tesla's growing insanely fast, but Apple has steadily been growing really fast for a very long time. And Warren Buffett is obviously, in my opinion, the greatest investor of all time. And the more research I do on Apple stock and how fast Apple stock grows and how consistently it grows and the rate of return on that investment, I see more and more why so much of Warren Buffett's money is in Apple, and I see why he's keeping it there for so long, because I genuinely believe Apple is one of those companies that's going to keep growing. And the fact that they're almost about to be the first company to hit $2 trillion valuation is just absolutely insane to me. And I really don't think it's going to be that long before they hit $3 trillion valuation or $4 trillion valuation. The company is growing really fast and has been growing consistently. And investing in Apple is a really good decision, especially when Warren Buffett invests in Apple. Just thinking about how much return on the investment he got from investing so much money into Apple, it just shows that the man is an investment genius, and it also just shows how good of a company Apple really is. To have a company that Warren Buffett speaks about so highly and so favorably of has to be the biggest honor a company can ever have. I really want to know in the comments below what you think about all this. Do you think investing that much into Apple is a good decision? What do you think about Apple as an investment currently? I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video. In the description below, I'm going to link my blog and my podcast, so check those out as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.